Divine Gypsy Mother is a new book and card deck by Balthazar Blacke, and the illustrations are by Alexander Daniloff. And it's all published by Scarlet Imprint. If you know anything about Scarlet Imprint, you know that you can expect the very highest quality in whatever they publish. Now, what happened is this. Peter Mark Adams, who I have an enormous amount of respect for, reached out to me asking me if I would like to receive a copy of his new book that he's published also through Scarlet Imprint in collaboration with Christophe Poncet. It's called The Esoteric Tarots, and I'll be reviewing this in the next couple of days. I said, of course, I would love a copy of your new book. I absolutely lap up anything that Peter Mark Adams writes, and so I was delighted, absolutely delighted to be offered a copy of his new book. But Scarlet Imprint included in the package a copy of this Divine Gypsy Mother. And I'll be honest with you, I'd been covering the Divine Gypsy Mother on and off on the news, and I was thinking to myself, if I were a little bit wealthier, I would probably pick a copy up, but sadly, it's not the way of the world. I don't have that much, and it's not going to be possible for me to get a copy of the Divine Gypsy Mother. So let me show you the card that has represented this fortuitous inclusion for me. This is the card that randomly came up at the top when I picked out the two beloved versions to show you guys, which is absolutely appropriate because I've been using this card deck now for just 3 days, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I had some misgivings at the beginning that the cards were a little bit stiff, a little bit difficult to shuffle. But I simply used the technique that Benebel Wen taught for her latest Spirit Keepers Tarot, which was also a little too heavily coated. And just literally after working with them for about, maybe 20 minutes, they became absolutely, you can see they're not clumping at all. They're individual, and they work really, really well. And I'm giving you this review in a bit of a bit all over the place with it. Where to start? First of all, this is a traditional divination system, right? And it's very popular in some regions of the world, especially in the Netherlands, from what I can tell, but in a few other places as well. And the book is very, very good at covering the whole history, covering the DNA of the deck, which basically shares some DNA with the Lenormand, and it goes into detail about how some early decks would have then become Lenormand or these gypsy cards. And the book goes into so much detail, folks, about the history of the deck, and therefore it gives you some insight into what the meanings of the cards are. It's not just a little white book saying to you, okay, this card means this card means that. It goes into a lot of depth, a lot of history, explaining to you why certain titles of cards and why certain imagery in the cards. And what I love about this deck is that it's mundane. And this might sound a little bit strange, but, I'm so used to rather lofty decks. I mostly work with the tarot, and the tarot is, it's spirituality in a box. This is very much a, what should I have for dinner kind of deck, It really is about mundane issues. And as much as, of course, if you're only looking into mundane issues, then you're missing out on the main course, On the other hand, if you're completely forgetting about mundane issues, then you're also missing out on starters and dessert. And very often when I've got specific questions, I turn to the I Ching because the tarot is a little bit more concerned with my spiritual well-being, which is all fine and it's all fine. It's essential. It's essential. But so is the mundane day-to-day life, you know? And so what I've found is that using these cards over the past few days, the cards have really covered areas of life that are just a little bit more down to earth. You can recognize some cards from the tarot. You know, this is very clearly the Three of Coins, and well, you could say this is possibly the Hermit, and you know, you could possibly equate this one with the Four of Cups, or I don't know, maybe some of the coins, cards, and so on and so forth, right? But you know, they're so expressive. Look at that anger. I mean, it's terrifying, and it represents anger so accurately, you know. And what's wonderful is that the book explains so well how to use the cards from a beginner perspective all the way to a very, very advanced methodology to be found in the back. Lots and lots of different ways to use the cards, from yes/no questions all the way to finding out really the relationship between various aspects of your life, getting into astrology and so forth. I love the way each card is related to a place where a lost object might be, and you choose a card to represent the object, because each card also represents particular objects as well. Then you shuffle the deck, and then you find out exactly where your lost object is, and things like this, right? I just feel like it fills a gap in my own range of divination methods, and I'm so grateful to Scarlet Imprint. This is a deck that I'm going to use regularly. This is going to be a, if not a daily use, certainly a weekly use for me. I can absolutely see myself using it all the time. And check this out, folks. So normally a gypsy deck, normally they would have one beloved and one lover. And here they've included two. They've included, you could say, Caucasian beloved, right, and lover, because you're supposed to be represented, if you're reading for yourself, or your client is supposed to be represented by either the beloved or the lover, depending on their gender. And they've included also a gypsy lover and gypsy beloved for the sake of the namesake of the deck, right? Which is a really nice nod, but also so that same-sex couples can choose which to add to their deck. You're only supposed to choose two of these. You add them to your deck, and you choose which one represents you or your client, and which represents the beloved, right? And it's you know, that's a nice touch, isn't it? And of course, you know, you can mix and match, and you know, and whatever you need to do depending on your situation. I thought that was really nice. And just the artwork is so lovely. It's so lovely. Look at the judge there, or the Pope, possibly. I don't know. Certainly Lex, the law, maybe judgment, just simply, right? You've got so much imagery to get into there, so many symbols, so many this is sadness right there. And I like the book explains this, right? So you can just draw two cards, right, and combine the words as a sentence, or three cards, right? So enemy, sadness, little money. So you can make the nouns act as adjectives for each other. Possibly my situation right now. I don't know. Letter risk obviously means something different from a risk letter, and I like that as well. You know, that you're playing with words, you're playing with language, and not just with the Kabbalistic archetypes of the tarot. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I love that they're little cards. They're really small cards. Look at them in my hand. Now I don't have the biggest hands in the world, and yeah, and they're thick. Look at that thickness on that. They're thicker than any card that I have. Right? I don't have any cards that are that thick. Beautiful gilded edge. Absolutely gorgeous. The book itself, I haven't spent very much time showing you the book because it's a Scarlet Imprint book. They're the best in their field, they're in the top maybe 2 publishers in the world, in my opinion, for beautiful esoteric books. And it's on a par with all the rest of their work. It's incredible. Beautiful thick paper that opens up, it's not a massive effort to push it back to actually read it. It opens up beautifully, Smith sewn naturally. Beautiful colors, beautifully laid out, spaced out, and it's a breeze to read, beautifully edited, and doing what Scarlet Imprint do, which is just the best. I wonder if it's worth my giving you a quick look at the table of contents. These are the names of all the cards, of course. Foundational methods. Really, really nice. And this Gypsy Grand Tableau is really something else. If the simplest methods are really very, very simple, and really anyone can pick this up and get some accurate readings with very little training, you can also take it quite far and quite deep. And yeah, these astrological tableaus really go very, very deep. So yeah, very, very nice stuff. I didn't show you this beautiful little box. There's some lovely velvet in the bottom here. And I just love the texture of this box. The texture, the color, the thickness of it, the solidness of it. It feels small and solid. It feels like something that's going to travel with you, A real delight, a real delight. There we are. I will have a review of the 2 esoteric tarots for you very shortly, as I promise. This is what I'm going to be spending the next 3 days just reading this. I'll just give you a quick little hint there. It is a conversation between a specialist of the Solabusca Tarot and of the Marseille Tarot, yes. But we'll talk about that very soon. For now, this is an absolute thumbs up for me. Absolutely love this. And it's going into my regular use drawer, along with my Terravo de Tile deck, which I use every day. That's it. Thanks very much again for watching. I really am signing off this time. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. See you soon.